Hello and welcome to our assembly. I hope you've all had a really good week, that you've enjoyed the lessons with your teachers. Next week in assembly, we're going to have a great surprise. Lots of other people are going to be joining me in assembly. It'll be a wonderful way to end our term. This week, I'd like to think about the stories that we tell us and how we can control those stories to make ourselves feel happy. We're going to take a look at a story told by Dojo. And at the end of it, we're going to see our certificates for this week.
It was a beautiful day at the school field, and day one of the Monster Olympics field day was about to begin. And they're off for the three-legged race. It's a close race, but there, it's Mojo and Katie, surging ahead right into second place, behind Teresa and her 3 legs. We were so close. Don't worry, Mojo. Frisbees are next. Frisbees? How hard can that be? Just then, they heard the voice of their teacher. Snack tables open. Whoa, ice cream sandwiches. Best day ever. Mojo made a beeline for the snack table. He was so excited that he didn't quite see what lay in front of him. Oh no. When Mojo saw what he had done, he was devastated. And his devastation quickly turned to dread. Mojo realized that everyone would remember this forever. His friends, his teacher, even people he hadn't met yet. Well, would love to hire you, Mr. Mojo, but, what's this on your permanent record about ruining the ice cream sandwiches? I'll only have one option. There'll be no home but the open road for Mojo, the ice cream ruiner. Snap out of it, Mojo. Katie shook Mojo awake. Oh, Katie, I don't want to be a biker rebel. A what? All my friends hate me. I'll never get a job. I'll have to drift on a bike from town to town, a monster without a place. And what kind of monster is that, Katie? That's a crazy story, Mojo. That's not a story. It's the truth. Look at the photo from my Katie drone. You definitely fell. That's a fact. It's in the picture. I don't see anyone who hates you. It's just something you imagine, like a storybook that you drew. And my failed test? My permanent record? My future as a biker? All stories, Mojo. Stories that make you feel bad, even though you made them up. So you're saying it's not what actually happened that's making me sad, but my story about what happened? But just then, Katie was called away to race her Katie drone in the 100-drone dash. And Mojo was left wondering, were all his fears just a story? What made stories different from facts? And could a made-up story make you sad? Interesting questions indeed.
So what was it that happened that made Mojo feel so embarrassed? What were the real facts in our story? Mojo told himself a story and he imagined what his friends thought of him. But was there a difference between the story Mojo told himself and the facts of what actually happened? Why do you think the story that Mojo made up might make him feel sad? Shall we go on to the next part of the story?
Mojo had slipped and spilled all the ice cream sandwiches at field day. He was sure that everyone would hate him forever, until Katie told him it was only a story he was telling himself, but he didn't quite understand. Just a story? I mean, I guess it could be. I wish I could talk to Katie more. Where did she go this time? I guess she's busy. Or maybe Katie secretly hates me too. She's probably just too nice to say it, and she left on her own. Katie did leave. That's a fact. Just like how I spilled the ice cream. And they happened right after each other. She doesn't like me. She won't ever like me again. Katie had been nearby, giving her drone a pep talk before the big race. Until she spotted something by Mojo. Mojo, look out! Huh? Ah! Katie, you're back. Where did the snake come from? Mojo, your stories created a story snake. A story snake? What's that? When you tell yourself a bad story, it doesn't just stay in one place. It spreads, and if you tell it more and more, it even stretches. It's coming after me. You can't run from a story snake, Mojo. It follows as long as you keep telling it. Oh, great. Just like the ice cream. It never forgets. First, I spilled the ice cream. Now I ruined field day with a giant snake. To forget field day, I ruined the entire field. If everyone didn't hate me before, they definitely will now. Mojo, don't give in to your crazy stories. You have to fight it, or the snake will take over. Really, I hadn't noticed. Help me, Katie. The story's so big it's eating me up. Literally. I can't help you, Mojo, but I know who can. Katie! You can't run from a bad story. You need something that fights it. Something good. Something like this. But what do you think? Can the stories you tell yourself really be as powerful as Katie says? Have you ever told yourself a bad story? And what can you do to fight a bad story?
What really happens then when the story that you tell yourself takes over? Can you think about a time a bad story took over from you? And what can you do to be like Mojo and help fight that bad story? Let's watch and see the final part of today's story.
Mojo's stories had gotten out of control at field day. They were about to eat him for breakfast, but then... Who are you? I'm Mongoose Man. Does that mean you're half mongoose and half man? No time for chit-chat, kid. We got a story snake to deal with. You can fight the snake? How? Remember your story, Mojo? Yeah, I said spilling the ice creams would make everyone hate me. How'd you feel when you told that story? Pretty bad. I don't want to have no friends and be a jobless biker rebel. Then change it, Mojo. Change it into a better story. When I was young, I lost my parents in a mall. Didn't know where they were. First, I imagined I'd have to live alone in the mall forever. It felt pretty bad to think about that. But then, I imagined that losing my parents made me harder, determined to fight injustice and all those snakes. And I became the Mongoose Man. That's great, but what do I do against my snake? Just think of a story that'll make you feel good when you hear it. Just start by saying, what if? What if? If the melted ice cream seeps into the grass, and then it grows into ice cream plants? You gotta believe it could really happen and still make you feel good. Well, what if no one saw because they were too busy with other things? Maybe someone in class doesn't like ice cream, and they don't even care. If I've learned one thing about story snakes, it's that when you get down to it, they're just full of hot air. And maybe my friends don't care no matter what I did, because my friends always stand by me. Okay, my little mongoose, dinner time. Not now, Mom. I'm Mongoose Man. He's the hero we deserve. But what I really need right now is some food. And, as if on cue, Mojo and Katie heard the familiar voice of the teacher. Hey everyone, guess what I found? She'd found a box of ice pops, and there were plenty to go round. Soon, no one even remembered that Mojo had spilled the ice creams. What kinds of positive stories have you told yourself lately? Do you think they can really overcome your negative stories? And what positive story could you tell about the rest of your day right now?
Why do you think the phrase, what if, can be so powerful if you're lost in a bad story? Can you think of any times when you've told yourself a positive story? And what positive story can you think of now to make the rest of your day feel good? I hope you enjoyed that story from Mojo, and I hope it helps you think about how you can control your own thoughts and how you can feel happy. Some people are going to feel very happy now because we're going to go on and take a look at this week's Stars of the Week. Thank you all of you for working so hard this week, and remember, come back next week. In next week's assembly, we're going to have lots of visitors and they all want to say something to you. Have a great weekend. Bye bye.